Well, here we are again. I'm going to give you a little update on the lighthouse. That's the base. There is the second portion. Got it all together. I got the light installed. I got all these. I had to make all these strips. They were all busted. They don't look like the original. This here's the original one. It's a little bit wider and it's got a little peak in the center of it, but it'll work. I couldn't find molding like that, so. But anyway, we got it all back together, and looks pretty good. What I'm going to do now, what I've done already to the top, is I X-braced on the inside of it, and you can see a couple screws here where I put in, and I run a brace all the way across there, and then I want one across like this on the inside, and then nailed or screwed those two together along with these two screws here, two on the other side, and you know how that goes. Anyway, that stiffens up this whole thing so that it isn't so floppy around, because the only thing that was holding it together is screws like this. These help a little bit, but and screws down here at the base that I toe-nailed through. Before, I didn't have any of that stuff. All I had was those staples in it, and that's why it got so flimsy. It just, everything rusted. Those staples rusted and just fell apart. You know, the wind came and blew it over, and it just collapsed. But now it's pretty sturdy. So what I'm going to do with this bottom is I'm going to do the same thing. This is the inside. This is the door. But I want to put an X-brace across the top of it. And I'm thinking from right here over to here, and then I'll run one from over here to here, and then I'll screw those in the center and run screws through the side. That'll make the top very strong. Even though it's like I said, these have all been secured, toe-nailed in, and then you've got the sides, which has got screws all the way across the top too. It's pretty solid, this base is, but when it fell over, this whole thing just flattened. And I mean, there was about, I would say, a third of this that remained together, and then the rest of it just flattened. And so, but it's coming together. What I need to do then, after I get that done, is this is the top, and you can see it's missing. There's a piece here that frames around. It looks like these sides, and there's glass missing here, 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 and over. I guess there's two of them right here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of glass. That you see the glass. You can't probably see it there, but you can see the busted glass in there. I haven't cleaned it all out yet, but anyway, this has got to be fixed up. And this is, they just use these little stupid finish nails. It's like, it's really crappy. So what I bought is some brass screws there that I'm going to use to put this all back together. And I've got the pieces here. They're right down here. There's one of the pieces. You can see how that fits up in there, something like that. It's going to go up underneath there, but anyway, like that. Now I'll have to cut a piece here because the other one broke. So, but it'll come together. Then I just got to get some glass cut and slide in there, and I get that done. But you can see it's pretty, needs some attention. So what my wife suggested, it was painted. We painted it before because the people that had it before us painted it, and you can't stain stuff after it's been painted. So I don't know. I'm going to try pressure washing it, and I'm going to see how much of that paint I can blow off, but it still ain't going to blow it all off. So I don't know. But what she wants to do is then stain it, so we don't have to keep up, you know, the upkeep on it all the time. Now there's also some other things here. I'll show you. These pieces here. These are just kind of decoration, but these, let me get back here far enough to show you. These go kind of like that. You can see it. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm looking in the viewfinder. But anyway, there's one of those that goes around to each side, and so those have got to be affixed. And but I'm going to pressure wash everything first, and then these little pieces here, pressure wash everything, and it's got screws in the bottom and in the middle there. But see, I put new screws and everything. This is just really cheaply built. They build them to get rid of them quick, and they don't build them to last because they want people to buy another one once this one falls to pieces. And I was over into Indiana last weekend and looked at some lighthouses, and they weren't nothing like this. They were probably about, the biggest one was the size of this base, you know, complete, and it wasn't even as big around as this top. But they were, boy, they were up over $1,000 for those, and it was like, man, this thing must have cost $3 grand or more to originally. We got it for $600 from the neighbor guy. He, I don't know if I can zoom in or not. I should try to. He lived over there. That's my pond, and then if he's got a pond over there too. And if you look real close, there's a rock right there at the end of the pond, and he had it by that rock. Well, anyway, he lost the house. It went back to the bank, and before the bank could come out to appraise it, he let us know, because we had this pond here, and so we bought it off of him for $600. You know, I don't know how legal that was, but anyway, we did. And then where I'm going to put it was where it was, is right where that stump is at, right there. We're going to tie it to that stump. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run some cross members once we get it set down in place, and I'm also going to drill 4 holes into the ground, and right where the base goes, I'll have, you know, the hole here put in, I don't know, 6-inch holes or whatever, and drill them down about 3 foot. We'll put sackcrete in them, and I'll get a dimension from the inside of this, and then I'm going to set anchor bolts down in that concrete, 4 of them, because there'll be 4 holes, and it'll double as a foundation, plus the anchor bolts will come up on the inside, and then I can get a couple pieces of angle iron and drill holes, fasten them to the inside walls, and anchor bolt them down. So this bad boy won't go anywhere again. I mean, the only thing it could possibly do if we had a really, really bad wind would tear the top of it off. But I don't think that's going to happen, because what you do is you set it down on top of this. That piece there comes down. You can kind of see the old line where those bottom boards right there, they sit right down here, like something like that, and then you know, you fasten those in, I guess. Anyway, those boards will be, they've got screw holes in them. You can see down in the bottom there. There's some screw holes, there you go, and then there's another one right there. So that's how that fastens. There's 2 on each board, and those screw right into this thing here. So you can see one right there. There was another one that was right in there. Anyway, that's what holds your top on. So instead of 2, I'm going to put 3 on each board. We didn't have any issue, because when it fell over, it all stayed together until it hit the ground. And when it hit the ground, it just exploded. just collapsed into one pile of lumber. But anyway, rambling on here. Thanks for watching and subscribing. So I'll keep you updated once I get her all primed or pressure washed and stuff before we paint it. So